Hello everyone, and welcome back to another speeddraw. I'm your resident faceless spirit, dear darling honeyboy, and today I've decided to do a style swap between Studio Ghibli and Junji Ito. Roll the tapes. So I started off with doing some thumbnail sketches. In this I decided to draw Ghibli as Junji Ito, and of course I had to choose Spirited Away for this, because it freaked me the fuck out as a child. I'm pretty good with body horror, but the parents turning into pigs really fucked me up. So I figured it probably would translate. And when looking up inspiration and stuff, I saw this scene with No Face, and I was like, oh yeah, that's gonna work. It has the big mouth. And it has the most monstrous form, I think, that I could find. So, with that in mind, I got the idea pretty quickly. And you know, it has a lot of things that I like to draw. I like to draw the many limbs. I like to draw mouths. I decided to do the style swap because I always see this, not comparison, kind of comparison, between Studio Ghibli and Junji Ito, because the Ghibli movies are always so it's colorful, it's soft, and how depressed Miyazaki is, and how Junji Ito draws just the most terrifying things, and it's just very cute national treasure, international treasure even. So that's what I decided to do. Also, because I enjoy both medias a lot. This is the first part of this style swap, because I'm gonna do it both ways. I'm gonna do both this Ghibli to Ito and then a Ito to Ghibli, which I think is gonna be a lot harder, but it's still gonna be fun. So get psyched, I guess. I spent multiple hours looking up reference and stuff. I went through my myriad of Junji Ito books that I have. That was the thing I edited away with this speed draw, was just the awkward pauses of multiple seconds where I know that I'm just looking up reference. So when I went in to draw Chihiro's face, I was like, oh, I don't have reference for how a 10-year-old kid would look, but I was like, nah, we're just gonna use the ones I have. Just make it easy on ourselves. Also because I feel how Junji Ito draws girls is pretty or how he draws people in general, but I feel especially girls is pretty recognizable. Mainly because of I feel the very I don't know, soft features, feels like there's a lot of space on that face. And the vaguely vacant expression they tend to have, even in the face of the horrors. I don't really know what I've gotten that impression. So that's why I did so for Chihiro as well. The shape of No Face's mask, I felt I had to modify quite a bit. I think I found something akin to a mask. I don't know if it's an actual face or if it's a mask that I used as reference for that. I had a hard time finding that image, and I didn't screenshot it or anything, so I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but maybe I will. And and I had to change the facial expression a bit too, because I wanted it to be more hollow-eyed and spooky, rather than I don't know, slightly distressed and cute that I find it as in the original. I felt it Ito'd. I Ito'd it. And you can kind of still tell that it's No Face. Maybe it's a bit too far off, but yeah. Also doing No Face's lips was very fun, because I felt with that in particular, I had good reference, especially from Ramina, which is I feel it's a lesser known thing, but that has some textures for sure. It felt like it lent itself well to that. In the scene, No Face doesn't have its tongue out the way I drew it, but it's Junji Ito. It's a very Junji Ito thing, tongues. It had a big impact on me. I love drawing Junji Ito tongues as well. So, it's a win-win. It's a win for me. A lot of this speeddraw is really just me doing texture, because Junji Ito does a lot of texture. Also because Chihiro I just whipped her out. It's just easy, and like the general shape of No Face as well. I just swooped it out. I was like, I don't really know if I feel like drawing today, so I opened it and I'm just gonna do a little quick lines, and then they turned out good, so that's why they randomly appear. The thing I think I struggled most with was figuring out like the texture on No Face. I think I spent like hours on it just trying to figure it out, just because of like the jelly, slightly translucent thing he got going for him. I don't feel is very Ito. I had a hard time like figuring out exactly what to do with that, or like I tried to look up reference, but I feel like everything he draws is pretty like solid and textured, which a translucent jelly wouldn't be. So while I personally would like to do the big blobs, I had to figure something out. But it took some time, and you'll see us moving forward. But yeah, I had such a good time with the teeth, and the tongue. I just had a wonderful time drawing them. I realized, like, looking back, that as you do, like when you either just document when you're drawing or like do speed draws like this, that you see that like, oh, earlier versions I like this part more. And I found that to be the case partially with like the gums, when I had the black gums with like the small line on the inside of the lips, just to show where one ends and one begins. And I wish I'd kept that. Also, the perspective in general was much better in the original sketch than when I tried to refine it, because that I struggled a lot with there at the end. I really wanted to not get too stuck on it, but the rest I was struggling a bit. And just like with the perspective, and the gums, I feel like I tried to see if I could load get backup files for some stage in this process, like after that I liked more, but I couldn't. So that's kind of sad. Realizing that I could load backups, I had to do that for one speedrun, or like I don't know if I needed to or if I wanted to, but realizing that I could do that is like. If I was like, I like that more early in the process, let's see if we have a backup file. I mean, hair was like a big thing. I feel like that's something that I don't think about a lot when it comes to Junji Ito. I don't feel like it's the focus immediately. But both, like, No Face's hair, I don't know why he has hair in that scene, but he does. So both No Face's hair and Chihiro's hair is brown, and I couldn't really figure out how I would do that. So I used the shorthand Junji Ito does for black hair for Chihiro, and I use the shorthand for blonde hair on No Face. Chihiro's hand, I had like a not a beef with it. It went pretty smoothly. I wasn't suffering, but it's like I was like, oh god, how does he draw hands? And then I looked at it and it's like, oh, he draws manga hands, and that's not something I feel particularly confident with. I usually end up drawing like very big square hands. I tend to draw rounded squares in general, but I feel like it turned out like pretty aight. I was very confused about Chihiro's clothing. I was like, what is that? I just ended up doing something. I feel like Junji Ito usually has like saliva on his tongues. But I in the same vein, I feel like that was like just another thing that I would probably get hung up on, and it could do without it. So because I'm constantly working on being faster. And I feel like maybe I should be faster on other things that I'm prioritizing, like, right now. But, I'm learning. This speed draw took me 7 hours and 45 minutes. That's very good for me, because felt like the latest ones that has been character portraits, to be fair, usually turn out about like, what is it, between 11 and 13 hours. So it's a big improvement. And I feel like a lot of the just base I got out pretty quickly. I'm very happy about how fast I managed to just whip out Chihiro and stuff like that, like the teeth and so on and so forth. But the rendering and the background took a lot of time, and I should have been like, I should have been less precious with it. I feel like less perfectionism, because usually when looking back at it, I perfectionism the good way, and we don't like that. But yeah, I feel like the background was also like a big thing. I had a very hard time like seeing how I could like make this interior like Ito, and also not like make it too visually busy. I infamously have a thing with that, and I wanted to use these like the effect lines, because that's something I saw a lot in the references I had for the Ito drawings. I looked mainly at Gyo. It's the land sharks. So I looked a lot on that, because I was like, I didn't feel like there was a lot of like very fast movements that I could remember, and then I realized like, oh, it's the land shark, but I don't feel like there's a lot of movement in it. But I think like the very solid nature of Ito's art is the reason for that. But definitely the way I ended up doing the background, I kind of regret it, because it lost the cool perspective I had a lot, because I wanted to use like the effect lines that Clip Studio has, that I couldn't really make it. I couldn't really do it in the perspective, because it just had the like square one, the circle one. And I didn't feel like completely drawing all the effect lines myself. So I was like, no, we're just going to be happy, we're just going to go. But I do kind of regret it. Also because you can see, I went in and did a lot of lines anyway, because, but that's how values are communicated, I feel like, a lot in Ito's art, is with just black, with texture. And I didn't really know how to handle that, so I was like, okay, we can try to do this for the floor. It would work, I think, and then it did, kind of. It also worked with like melting, or like so I didn't have to make the back part of No Face. But yeah, that's it. In the end, I'm like kind of happy with it. I felt like the base and the earlier versions were really good, but how it ended up with, like, especially the rendering of the background, I think, mainly, and that I didn't stick more exactly to the sketch, I feel like made me like it less. So I'm happy with it throughout the process, but the end product, not as much. But I can't go back, even though I tried. So you just have to be happy with it, you know. have to accept it as it is. She's not the prettiest girl at the party, but she doesn't have to be. The things I'm like least happy with is the texture on No Face like body. I don't like a lot. It looks very inky, which is nice, but it doesn't feel Ito, and it doesn't feel like translucent or like as much of the concept of No Face maybe than I would like it to be. And of course the background, because I feel like early on I had it in the fucking bag, and by changing it, I kind of messed up. I feel like it would have helped if I knew how to use Clip Studio better, but I don't know if it has this feature. For the longest time I used Procreate, and it has this feature where you can put a focal point, and it works as a ruler, so you can only draw lines from that focal point. And I don't think Clip Studio has it. If it has it, it's a lot harder to figure out. So I just used what Clip Studio had to offer me. Sadly, kind of. I'm the most happy with, I think, the tongue and the teeth. Maybe mostly the tongue, but like the 3D feel of the tongue, I feel like is very fun. I of course like the lips on No Face as well. I think I think they turned out great. But it was because like it was an easy translation. Also, like I feel like the entirety of Chihiro I'm very happy with, partially because it took such a short time, and because it just turned out good, you know. I feel like it became very Ito. I don't know how recognizably Chihiro it is, just because it has the base features and not really like the face construction, because that's, you know, it's very unique. And I feel like maybe if I would have used a reference for kids from Junji Ito's books, maybe it would have been better. But I feel like I could offer. I feel like it's an okay trade-off to get something very Ito, and maybe stray a bit too much from the Ghibli design. No Face's mask is also like kind of good. I feel like maybe it was more dynamic in the sketch, and just like with Chihiro, it's pretty far from the Ghibli design in exchange for being more Ito. I don't really know where the style swap and doing too much goes, but you know, that's up for you to decide. And with that, we're done. So thank you for watching all the way to the end. I really hope you enjoyed the first part of the style swap, because I know I did. If you want more of me, I stream on Twitch every Sunday at 8 p.m. Central European Time or 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and also spontaneously throughout the week when I have time. All of those streams also go up on my VOD channel, Dear Darling Honeyboy Streams. I have a Tumblr where I post all of my art, and it's more or less the only social media that I'm active on. I have a Patreon where you can get all the drawings from my videos as high-res PNGs, so if you want Junji Ito Spirited Away on your wall, you can. You can also get access to my comic and hang out in a cool Discord with the other darling Patreons. Thank you to Erik Mellesdal and Dean Sabine for being just the dearest of darlings. And until next time, cheers. We're the best to ever do it. That was so fast. Get in and one. Oh, that's hot. Best to ever do it. Who? But yeah, and the think, not the think, but yeah. Yeah. Don't die. I'm your resident folklore hero. That's not the word. Faceless spirit. And today, I've decided between Studio Ghibli. Is it Ghibli or Ghibli? I'll have to look that up. If you want more of me, all of those streams ends up at VODs. Fuck. A visual, pull your eye. And with that, we're done. So, thank you so much for watching. Oh. And with that, we're pissed. Again. If you want more of me. I feel like that sounded so aggro. If you want more of me. Why am I screaming, bro? At 8 p.m. Should we just start the fuck over? Nah. This video contains, like, some body horror, but very little. I used the Junji Ito tongue image. Maybe I'll use that for the fucking thumbnail, so that doesn't matter. They know what they're getting into. Don't think in that scene, what's the girl called? Hold on. I don't want to stop the tapes for this. Shishiro? Girl spirited away. Chihiro. Okay. I feel like the foreshortened hand wouldn't necessarily... I wonder if I should start this bitch over. Yeah, it's gonna be too long to edit. Fuck it.